The greatest moment at Coors Field took place on October 1st, 2007. At the beginning of the 2007 season, the teams favored to contend for the National League West title were the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. The Dodgers would get off to a fast start but would eventually falter, while the Padres stayed in contention for much of the year. However, for most of the season, the Colorado Rockies were off of the radar and had gotten off to a slow start, although they would eventually play steady baseball for much of the season. By September 15th, they were an above 500 team but were in last place and were 6.5 games out with 14 games remaining, and no one was expecting to see them making the playoffs. However, the next day they would be the Florida Marlins, and while people weren't thinking much of them winning the game, the win would be the start of one of baseball's all-time great playoff runs. The Rockies would win 14 of their last 15 games, and by the end of the season were tied with the Padres for first place in the wild card. A one-game playoff would be held at Coors Field and would go down as the greatest in National League history. The Rockies would strike first with 2 runs in the first inning and add another in the second. However, the Padres would answer in the third with 5 runs, highlighted by a grand slam by Adrian Gonzalez. The Rockies would narrow the lead to 1 in the bottom of the third, tie the game in the fifth, and take a 6-5 lead in the sixth on a sac fly by Kazuo Matsui, putting them within 9 outs of their first postseason in 12 years. They looked to add some insurance in the seventh when Garrett Atkins came to the plate. He would sky a fly ball toward left center, and it appeared to have landed over the wall and bounced back onto the field, but it was ruled a double. The Padres would get out of the inning, and the call would be a pivotal play of the game. In the top of the eighth, Brian Giles came up with a runner on second and 2 outs when he had a fly ball to Matt Holliday that looked like it was going to end the inning. Holliday, however, misplayed the ball, and the tying run would score. The game would remain tied into the 13th inning despite some big scoring opportunities for both teams. In the top of the 13th, Scott Hairston came to the plate following a leadoff walk. He had gotten a few clutch hits in the late innings for the Padres during the season and would do so again when he homered to left field, giving the Padres an 8-6 lead and putting them within 3 outs of their third straight postseason. And in the bottom of the inning, all-time save leader Trevor Hoffman came in to close it out. But the Rockies would not go quietly. Kazuo Matsui led off with a double, and Troy Tulowitzki would come up and hit a double, driving in Matsui to make it 8-7 and putting the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. Matt Holliday then came up, hoping to atone for his fielding miscue in the 8th inning. He would do that, hitting a triple to right and scoring Tulowitzki with the tying run. After an intentional walk, Jamie Carroll would come up to the plate with a chance to be a hero. He would hit a line drive to Brian Giles in shallow right, and Holliday would tag up. The play at the plate would be close. Holliday would slide head first, with the throw being on target, but catcher Michael Barrett could not hold on to the ball, and Holliday was called safe as the Rockies won the game, making them wild card champions, putting a close to one of baseball's greatest pennant races, and sending the Rockies to just their second postseason, where they would go on to their first World Series.